Hi, welcome back to Living Well with Memory Loss and MCI, or welcome if this is your first time. It's November 23rd, 2025 today. It's nice sunny day. I'm out in what I call my tea house. It's my quiet place, my YouTube studio, and it's also a place where we store our garden ornaments. So we got a few ornaments here and there. So today I'd like to talk about talking. Yeah, but before I get into that, I should read my disclaimer because I haven't done this for a while. I put it on every YouTube video in the description, but sometimes people don't read the descriptions. So the content on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. I'm not a healthcare professional, and the information provided here is based on my own personal research and experiences. If you or someone you know is experiencing symptoms of mild cognitive impairment or any other health issue, please consult a qualified medical professional. Always seek advice of your doctor or other healthcare provider with any questions you have regarding a medical condition. So uh, that's just so you know. I'm not a therapist, or I'm not you know not a Harvard trained doctor. Far from it. Um, in my former life, as I've been retired for 10 years, and in my former life I was a welder fitter. So um, take that in mind. And I also suffer from memory loss and mild cognitive impairment. So um, when I'm saying things, it's from my own experience, and you have to use your own judgment. Just don't blindly follow. Just don't blindly follow me, because I don't know where I'm going most of the time. So, anyways, I wanted to talk about talking and how to communicate with others. We like when you have memory loss issues and cognitive impairment. Sometimes what you perceive gets skewed. A lot of times somebody will say something, and I'll take them the wrong way. I'll take that the wrong way, and um, it's it you go off on a tangent sometimes. I misunderstand things sometimes, and other times people misunderstand me. So it's like, what can I do to solve some of these things that come up every day? So today I'm going to be reading from notes a little bit, because I'm trying a new thing that seems to be working pretty good. But I'll talk about a few things. One thing I learned a while ago is that, like my mother-in-law, when she was alive, she had dementia, and we'd have to repeat things several times. We have to do it 3 or 4 times just to get through to her. And we'd always, we'd try one way and then we'd try another way, and it just, it was difficult communicating with her. And one thing I learned at Alzheimer's is that if you're talking to somebody, and they don't understand what you're saying, sometimes it's best if you just repeat exactly what you just said. You just keep repeating exactly what you just said. Because sometimes what happens is people miss, if you miss one word in this, if you miss hearing one word in a sentence, it can confuse you. And then if you ask, if somebody repeats it, but repeats the question in a different, the statement in a different order, then you miss another word. So if you just keep repeating the same thing over, yeah, sometimes you do it twice, sometimes 3 times, sometimes 4 times, just repeating the same thing over and over, it helps. It works. It works surprisingly well. And I just do it habitually now. If I say, oh, I was thinking about going to the store today, and someone takes it, oh, you're going to the garage, I just say, yeah, I was just thinking about going to the store today. I need to get something. And then sometimes I have to do it 3 times. I was just thinking about going to the store today. Do you want anything? So you keep the phrasing very similar, and it makes a big difference. And then I was, like, for myself, I have, like, I guess what is called an avoidant personality. I like to avoid conflict. I grew up in a family where you did what you were told. You did what you were told, and there was you weren't encouraged to differ. So I grew up just doing what I was told and avoiding conflict, and that works. It's a strategy that works. You end up doing what you don't want a lot of the time, and then you carry resentments. We have usually it's last week I put up the Christmas decorations outside, and this is a yearly thing I do. It's my job to decorate the outside of the house, and the wife decorates the inside of the house. So I do it, but some years I did it with huge resentments. I just, I was out there doing that stuff. It's complicated stuff. I don't like doing it. Why should I do it? It's stupid. And that's what I was thinking through it. And this year, I knew it was coming up. And the other day, I decided, well, it's a nice day out. Why don't I do it while it's still nice? That makes sense. And I'll just do it and enjoy it, and see what happens. So I just went about doing it, and I enjoyed doing it this time, because I was doing it to make my wife happy, to make brighten up the day, because this time of year it gets pretty gloomy outside, so a little bit of lights brightens everybody's spirits. So and I got into it, and I got actually a little creative this time and changed the display up a bit. And so I forget where I was going with this. But anyways, this was something that happened. It was good. Everybody was happy with it. And I did it without resentment. I did it because I chose to do it, rather than doing it because I wanted to avoid conflict. Right? I avoided conflict by doing it anyways, but I wasn't motivated by I don't know. I keep losing my my train of thought there. But um, that was one thing that is it's my go-to is to avoid conflict. I just do what others want me to do, and try to be cooperative. But I don't express myself well, and that might be the um, cognitive impairment. It could be like my basic character is one of avoiding conflict. So I mostly do what others want, and instead of speaking up and saying, "Oh, I would rather do this" or "I would rather do that." So, but I found a guy online, and his name is Dr. Xavier Amador, and he has a thing called the Leap Institute. He he developed a way of working with um, schizophrenic people, but it also will work with people with memory loss, and dementia, and all people actually, because most people are not fully aware of everything that's going on. They're aware of what they want, and getting things done, but we all have blind spots. So this technique was developed for people that are not aware that they're uh, have problems. But so I think it helps me. I've been trying it, and the first part is when someone's talking to you, you listen attentively. You listen to what they're saying, and you just pay attention. Sometimes that's hard for me to pay attention, even. Like somebody will be talking, and I'll be thinking, I wonder if the Maple Leafs are playing tonight. or, or thinking about, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that, and some somebody else is talking. But if you pay attention to what some people are saying, uh, it's the first step, right? And then be clear, right? You say, okay, you said you want the grass cut today, and you wanted um, the leaves raked, and um, yeah. So it can be anything, and you just sort of repeat what they say, slightly different for your understanding of what. So I say, so you want me to cut the grass and vacuum the pool today? And then she says, no. I said, I want you to cut the grass and rake the leaves. I go, oh, okay, yeah. So you get clear understanding of what people want from you, right? Or what their experience is. You can talk about emotions. You're upset about this. Well, why are you upset? And then you listen. So I say, okay, I hear you that you're upset about this because somebody didn't do something that you thought they should have done, right? So so that's listening, and this whole process is called LEAP. So there's four main things: listen, emphasize, have empathy for what they're saying, feel what they're feeling. If somebody's tell you they're having strong emotions about something, then feel what that would feel like. Try to get into this. Try to get a sense of what that feels like for them. And you have to respect that that's how they see things. You might see something differently, and you might want to jump in and say, no, no, you're wrong. You're wrong about that. You're absolutely wrong. That's not the way. That's not what happened. And when you do that, it doesn't help. It's better to listen to what the other person's saying, have a sense of seeing things from their point of view. Say, okay, I can see how you would feel upset about that. I can see that. Okay. And then because you have to wait, and you could say, I see how you can feel that way, but I see things differently. Right? I see things differently. You don't have to go into why you see things differently. You just say, I hear what you're saying. I can appreciate why you would feel that way, but I see things differently. And don't rush. Don't rush to give your opinion. Just say, if they want your opinion, they'll ask. They'll say, well, how do you think? What do you think it should be like? How do you think we should go ahead with this? So, but it's better to just wait. Don't rush in. Just say, you have a right to feel the way you feel, and if you think this is the way forward, well, then that's your opinion, right? And you have a right to your opinion, but I see things differently. Oh. Usually I just go along with whatever they want. And, but, so that's emphasizing. And also, when you say, well, I see things differently, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong about this. Maybe you are right, and maybe I'm wrong, but that's not the way I see it. So, and when they ask for your opinion, then you can give your opinion. But before you give your opinion, you say, well, I disagree with what you say, and I could be wrong. But this is how I'm going to tell you how I feel, but I want to apologize in advance. If this upsets you, that I have a different opinion than what you do. And then, only then you give your opinion. When it's asked for, and apologize in advance if that opinion might upset the person. If they see things much differently than you, they're most likely will find your opinion upsetting, and apologize in advance for saying, well, this is, I have a different opinion and it may upset you, and I apologize in advance for that. I apologize for having an opinion different than yours. So that way you have a right to your opinion, and I apologize if my opinion is different than yours. And then you go forward, and then you say, okay, your opinion is like this and mine is there, but there is some things, what can we agree on? Is there anything that we can agree on? And okay, can we agree to disagree about the other points? And maybe you have to step back and just say, I'm getting really upset doing this, and I think I need to take a break. So you need sometimes, when it's difficult topics that need to be discussed but don't need to be resolved this right now, you can just say, well, let's just shelf this for now and come back another day. So that is so this four-step process is listening to what the other people say, putting your having empathy for the other person. I'm having trouble with empathizing and emphasis. Those two words are similar, and I'm having a little trouble with them right now. But you went to empathize. Empathize. Try to feel what they're feeling, and try to understand that from their viewpoint they could feel that way. And so then you agree that you give your cautions. I apologize if I feel differently than you, and I hope that doesn't upset you that I have a different opinion than what you do. I respecting your opinion. Hopefully you can respect my opinion, but you don't have to. And then we can go forward and try and agree on what you can agree on, right? So this is all kind of new to me, but I'm finding that working at it in that framework works pretty good. I've done it a little bit, and it's coming more natural to me. It's so often I want to just cave, just do what they want, and then go around grumbling afterwards. Well, if you don't express what you want, and this is how I think I'm going to try to express what I want in a better way. So I don't know if that makes much sense or not, but it's something I'm working on. It seems to be working better for me. I'm being more honest with people, and because if people don't know what you want, well, how they're going to give it to you, right? So that's something. So beautiful day today. I think I've exhausted that topic. I'm sure there might be other videos on improving communication, because there's a lot of things you can do, and there's one thing that's coming to mind is if you're dealing with somebody with cognitive impairment or memory loss or hearing loss, especially hearing loss. If you're talking with somebody who has trouble hearing, it's important to stand in front of them, look them in the eye, speak slowly, and it helps a lot, because there's less misunderstandings. Because if you're talking to somebody behind, like from the side or from behind them, and expecting them to understand what you're saying, good luck. Good luck. You're much better off taking a few more steps, standing in front of the person, looking them in the eye, speaking slowly, especially somebody with hearing loss, because believe it or not, a lot of us get a lot of information from facial gestures and from reading lips too. We're doing it subconsciously, and as your hearing deteriorates, you're leaning more on lip reading and facial expressions and body language. So it's all there. And you can't read body language if the person's standing behind you. You can't read lips if the person's standing behind you or to your side. So that's another tip. I think that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this little chat. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Yeah, I got all 4 this time. How about that? And I hope you enjoy it. Share it with someone that you think could use it. Hope you have a great week. Bye for now.